An Extraordinary Ride by Amanda Costa, based on Around the World on Two Wheels by Peter Zheutlin. Fade in. Exterior Spring Street, Boston West End, day. February 1894, Boston. A strip of blue sky floats atop a narrow cobblestone street. Cramped four-story tenements rise up on either side. A suffocating chaos fills the scene. Clotheslines strung taut between buildings, immigrant women lean out of windows and yell to their neighbors. Annie Londonderry 22, dark hair, Eastern European features, and a determined look in her eyes, balances her son Simon, 2, on her hip. Bundled against the cold, her breath frosty, she hugs him close with one arm. With her other hand, Annie shepherds her 2 daughters, Molly, 5, and Libby, 3, past the Jewish neighborhood's daily routines.
You could be a rich woman, Pearstone. I reckon that contraption is worth 10 times a sewing machine, and you best make it quick before Abraham finds out.
Oh, he already knows. I told him I was going to get a basket for it and use it for Bikur or Kolim. What could he say? I can't help the ill and homebound?
Pear cringes at Annie's reckless and haphazard dash. She shuffles her feet to get warm and rubs the children's hands.
That's your mama, always running off willy-nilly like somewhere like a flibberty-gibbet.
Interior, Spring Street apartment, evening. A small cramped kitchen opens up to a sitting area. A nondescript stew makes its rounds, scooped and shoveled onto potato mash.
I saw your friend Pear today. She was on one of those bicycle contraptions. Can't say I approve much of women riding them. Dangerous for all involved.
I think it's nice. Gives her freedom.
Freedom? Freedom from what?
And he wipes Simon's mouth with gusto.
To get her errands done faster. She can put a little basket on it and carry things. Earn money.
I don't know what the world is coming to when we have to chase after our wives on bicycles.
Interior, newspaper office, Boston Globe, day. A gruffy but fatherly-looking Irishman, chief editor Patrick Flanagan, 50, approaches her humming an Irish tune.
Begorra, don't get too comfortable. We need you to pick up some copy. A whole page they're paying for in this week's paper, and it's quite a thing.
Annie hands Flanagan a small stack of receipts. He rifles through them.
These are good. But I need clients that are from outside the Jewish section. You need a gimmick, Kopchowski. Every good salesperson's got one. You better bundle up. You're heading clear across town to High Street, number 45. The Pope Manufacturing Company. They sell bicycles, I hear.
Interior, Annie and Max's bedroom, later. The room now dark, only lit by moonlight. Snores drift from the other living room. Annie sleeps on the floor next to the bed. Jacob, strangely alert, stares down at her from atop the bed.
Annie? Annie?
Annie moans and turns over. She opens her eyes. They appear red and swollen from crying.
Jacob?
I want you to promise me something.
Annie bolts up frightened now and grasps her brother's hand.
Please don't. You'll be just fine in the morning. You will see.
I don't want to miss out on the adventure.
You're not making sense. Go back to sleep.
Annie rests her head on the bed next to him. He strokes her hair.
Always with the sechel. I'm making perfect sense. Don't you see? I'm counting on you. Promise me, Annie. You're going to have enough adventure for the both of us. Promise me.
Interior, Spring Street apartment, night. Annie paces with Simon in her arms. The boy whimpers and howls, his hand pressed against his ear. Bennett trails after her, his arms folded defiantly.
I absolutely forbid it. Please put a stop to my sister's foolishness.
Max will not be bullied in his own home.
I'm not a husband to forbid my wife anything. We are in America now.
Annie halts in the middle of the room.
I would hope Annie would make the best decision as a mother and as my wife, but it is her decision to make.
Annie, now frozen in place, stares at Max. Max walks to Annie and lifts Simon from her arms.
Money's not everything.
It will be an opportunity, Max, for us to have a better life.
Annie points to the children asleep on the bed.
You'll have more room to sleep.
I don't need more room to sleep. I don't need more of anything. It is you that searches for something. We are not enough for you.
Exterior, the State House, Boston. The leader of the suffrage group passes Annie a small megaphone and indicates her to speak into it. Annie brings it to her lips, tentatively, and tests it out.
Hello?
Her voice booms. She jumps, surprised. Applause breaks out at her, and Annie basks in the attention.
As you all know, I'm going to go around the world in 15 months to settle a wager between 2 gentlemen of business, whose names I am not at liberty to disclose.
At the edge of the circle hovers Colonel Pope and Captain Peck. They beam like proud fathers. In the crowd, folks exchange monies and bets eagerly.
I am to leave with nothing but the clothes on my back and earn $5,000 while on my journey. When I return, a sum of $10,000 will be mine to keep.
The crowd gasps. A young reporter shouts out.
Nothing but the clothes on your back?
Annie blushes a deep red and lowers her voice to answer.
Well, truth be told, I do have a change of personal undergarments.
The suffrage leader steps up and holds out a shiny copper coin to Annie. Others in the crowd follow suit.
A penny for luck and for lodgings and food.
No, I can't take it. I have to earn my way on the trip. No charity allowed.
She directs this last comment to Custard.
It's one of the rules. I must travel around the world relying only on my ability to offer my services and skills as a cyclist and as an advertising novelty. In exchange for sponsorship, I may lecture or be put on display if need be.
Exterior, desolate country road, evening. Day 71, September 3rd, 1894, Ohio. Annie pedals hard with her long skirts hiked up around her. Her new pantaloons cover her legs. The sky appears dark and ominous, and she eyes it suspiciously. A loud crack of thunder and the sky opens up. Hard rain pours down on her. The rain pelts her, and a strong wind pushes her dangerously across the road. Annie dismounts and pushes her bicycle with all her might against the wind and toward a tree on the side of the road. Under the tree, she curls up with her bicycle and shivers under the meager shelter. Lightning strikes in the distance. She pulls out the photo of Max and the children. She cups her hand over it to keep it from getting wet. Exterior, small stream, day. Day 75, September 7th, 1894, Illinois. Annie rinses her undergarments out in a small stream and then spreads them out on the grass to dry. She stretches out next to them, exhausted. Through the blades of grass, she notices the tire on her bicycle is flat. Interior lobby, Palace Hotel, day. Day 277, March 28th, 1895, San Francisco.
I only meant perhaps you shouldn't be so loose with the truth, all things considered.
It's not just my job to report to you, O'Malley, or anything else for that matter. Mine is a difficult task to undertake, and I will do it as I see fit.
She strides off once again in the direction of the restaurant. O'Malley calls after her.
Have you corresponded with your family since you left on your adventure, Miss Londonderry?
The hotel patrons all stop what they are doing to watch this exchange.
Would this be a question for your Boston Globe paper, Mr. O'Malley, or one of a personal nature?
O'Malley pulls a pad and pencil from his jacket.
Yes, I would say our readership would be most interested in whether or not the family still considers you to be alive or dead, or even interested in what they had to think, for that matter.
I have no comment for the press at this time.
Interior, auditorium later. A familiar voice booms across the audience. Annie squints over her eyes to make out a large, rotund, gourd-shaped outline. It is Custer.
I have a question. According to the cyclometer of your sterling, it appears to be mathematically impossible for you to have made the inroads into these countries that you claim you have. Furthermore, I declare that if I had not seen with my own two eyes you riding a bicycle, I would go as far as to conjecture that you completed these legs of the trip by the means of purely hopping on and off of trains, steamships, and whatnot.
The audience is transfixed by Custer. Encouraged, he goes on without pause.
I accuse you of being a fraud. It is hardly believable that a woman undertook a trip such as this on her own. But since you claim to have done such an idiotic thing, you have no one to help prove these claims of perilous adventures. I have seen tougher skin on an apple. Don't hold a grudge against me, O'Malley. Let me buy you a drink.
Custard indicates to a waiter to come over.
Mr. Custard, seeing that you think so little of a woman's accomplishments, I thought I would offer you this opportunity to prove how even you could do what I did if you put your mind to it.
She presents the bicycle to him.
What do you want me to do with that?
Ride it, of course.
O'Malley howls with laughter in the background.
I most certainly will not. I'm sure if I was so inclined.
It is only fitting you know a little something about your topic you've been writing about for over a year now.
She holds out her hand to him.
I will help you, and O'Malley too.
O'Malley laughs even louder, and Annie scolds him.
Now, we all have our first time doing something. Mr. Custard has nothing to be ashamed of.
Annie gives Custard her most brilliant smile. Even Custard can't resist it. He scowls at O'Malley. Eventually, her extraordinary ride was forgotten by the world. until now. The end.
I'll stop. I don't know. I
didn't like to be in front of the camera. Thank you, guys.
This is great.
Thank you. It is fantastic.
It's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. And it's got so many different chapters to it. It kind of ebbs and flows and thicks and thins. It's all those different flavors.